Hey, hey, it's Aliyah with Daley Conversations. And you know that we have special guests and we love to get to know our special guests. And so I'm going to have Kesha introduce herself, let us know who you are, what you do, and something interesting about yourself.
Hello. Thank you for having me on here. It's such a pleasure. So my name is Kesha, and I am a certified personal trainer and a certified health coach. And I started a business called I Lose to Gain, which is basically I have to lose something to gain something as it relates to fitness. And my philosophy on fitness and health is just learning to be in tune with your body to learn what you need. So one of the things that sets me apart is that I don't train people actually. So even though I'm a certified personal trainer and health coach, I don't train people. I don't provide meal plans or provide fitness plans. My focus is on helping you identify what works for you and giving you the accountability to reach those goals. So what you do is you come in and you'll provide me with your fitness schedule, and I will hold you accountable to that schedule. Every 6 weeks, we would follow up and make sure that you are adhering to that schedule, see if we need to make any tweaks, any adjustments, and see if we need to grow. Because what is your progress? Because we're not growing, we're stalling. And so the purpose of I Lose Again is just you committing to yourself, making a promise to yourself, and me holding you accountable to that promise. And you said something interesting about me. I think that's interesting. I think that, when people find out that I don't create meal plans and I don't train people and I don't look at your form, I'm not counting your reps, people are like, well, then what do you do? And it's like, I help you find out what works best for you, because how many times have you bought a fitness plan and it's been collecting dust on the shelf, or in the inbox of nothingness? You know what I mean? Like, you have fitness plans that you're not doing, and I don't want to be another fitness plan that you put on the shelf that you again don't do. So my goal is to actually make sure that the plans that you already have, that you are actually doing them.
That's really good, because I was going to ask you, why do you think it's important to have accountability in fitness?
Yes, I think that's the biggest thing. And that's what I actually created I Lose Again for, what I needed. So I didn't need anybody to tell me what to do. I knew that what I wanted to do. And also, I've never finished a fitness plan in my life, y'all. And I still lost weight, right? So I didn't want anybody to tell me what to do. I didn't need a plan. I didn't need anybody to do my food for me. I'm not going to follow it. I don't even follow recipes, okay? I don't cook, honestly. But I just needed someone to come to me and be like, hey, did you work out today? Hey, what are you doing? Like, why are you not up? Get up. Let's go. Oh, you didn't work out at 8 a.m.? That's cool. It's 6 p.m. Get to work. Go work out right now. Oh, it's midnight and you didn't get your workout in? Well, go do a 10-minute workout right quick. So that, because you have to train your brain to actually do the work. And that's with everything. And even my coach in my business was telling me, like, I was getting so freaked out by, trying to grow the business. She's like, just do two. Just do two things and don't worry about the rest. I know that you have 100 things on your list to do, but just do two, because your brain needs that practice. So I always tell people in fitness, the reason why you may not be working out in fitness, or why accountability is important, is because you're so focused on doing the big things. You're focused on doing the hour-long workout. You're focused on these enormous things. But you could do a 5 to 10 minute workout and still have a great workout. Or you could do 5 minutes every hour or 90 minutes. And if you did that 6 times, that's like at least 30 minutes of working out. So it's like retraining your brain to really think about, what is fitness? What does it mean to you? And how can you incorporate this into your daily life?
Can you tell us about your fitness journey and how you lost weight, like your weight loss journey as well?
Yes. So my journey started, like everybody's, we have ebbs and flows, right? So when I first started, I was 230 pounds. And my doctor was like, everything at that weight, they attributed to me being overweight. They're like, oh, you're morbidly obese, super obese, and all these things. I'm 5'6", so 230 was a lot. But every issue I had was attributed to the weight loss, was attributed to my weight. And it was like, if I said my stomach hurt, it's like, oh, because you're overweight. Okay, but like there's something going on. Ended up finding out there was something with my stomach. I did go home and try to lose weight and I couldn't. And I'm like, what is going on? There was something with my stomach that needed to be addressed. We addressed it, but by the time we addressed it, it got worse. So I went to my doctor and I'm like, why was I treated like this? I went to a different doctor. And they were like, but a lot of the things that are happening in our bodies can be attributed to weight. And it's just a fact. Like my knees, I tore my meniscus in my sleep. For every pound that you're overweight, you put 5 pounds of pressure on your body. And so if I'm like 90 pounds overweight, divide that by 5, that is how much pressure you're putting on your knees. And so they weren't wrong in what they were saying. I don't feel like I needed to be treated like that, but they weren't always wrong. You know what I mean? A lot of things that we are going through could be attributed to weight. That doesn't mean that you don't advocate for yourself. Just know that some of the things are attributed to that. And you don't have to be skinny mini. I'm not skinny mini, but I ended up recognizing, how can I lose the weight and still be heard? How can I reach my weight loss goal to still be heard? And what I found was that I needed to listen to my body and advocate for myself. If my body is truly hurting, then I need to go to a doctor and let them know, like, okay, beyond the weight, what else could there be? There's somebody on TikTok that asked me and said, okay, what else could it be? And then tell them to write all the things that it could be on your list. They'll start checking you for them. They will start checking you for them. So then I went home and I'm like flailing here, you guys. I'm like trying to figure out, how am I going to lose this weight? And then COVID happened. And now it's like, we're all at home. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? And I ended up just reaching out to my friends and like, hey, I'm about to start a weight loss journey because I'm over here bored at home. Anybody want to join me? And then all of my friends and family started joining me. And we all had like this mini group within COVID that was our safe space, that we could come in and we could go and we can just lose weight without all the noise. And that is what I wanted to create with I Lose Again, is where we come in and lose weight without all the noise, without someone telling like, oh, you have to lose this amount of weight in order to be good. There are other places, companies that are like, if you lose 6% of your body weight, then we'll give you some sort of prize, right? But then if you get to the end and you haven't lost 6% of your body weight, sometimes people take drastic measures to try to lose that weight. So what I wanted to do with I Lose Again is not place that pressure on you, where you're not worried about how much weight loss you've done, or looking at the scale, or any of those type of outward progress reports. All I wanted you to do is come in, say when you're going to work out, and then we hold you accountable to that. Now, I do have another tier to my program where I would look at your nutrition and I would go into, more depth with mindset. But for right now, we're just needing to get up and get moving. So my fitness journey was about cutting out all the noise of people telling me what I needed to do and doing what I needed to do for myself and my body and what made me feel good.
That's so beautiful. I love that. And congratulations on the weight loss and your health journey, because out of all of that, you started a business. And I would love for you to talk more about I Lose to Gain. We've been talking about fitness, and this is kind of how I met you as well, online, joining your free freestyle classes, which I really enjoy because it gets me moving as well. As a stay-at-home mom, someone who doesn't really get out a lot, and also just focusing on my own business as well. So being super busy, I think that this class is very manageable. And even though sometimes I end up missing some of the classes, I'm like, dang, but they're so consistent that, I'm able to catch them and I'm able to really get my movement in. And so I love that. And so I would love for you to talk more about your business and the services that you offer.
Oh, awesome. So with I Lose Again, the whole premise is to finding out what your body needs and what feels good to you. So one of the programs that I offer is a free freestyle dance class. It's just where I'll have a theme for the month. So this month is January. So obviously it's the new year. And so we're talking about what we're going to do. And so it's 2025 glow up, because we are glowing up into ourselves. And so all of the songs are based about glowing up. Every week I'll have a title. So that fits the theme of the month. So the first week I had, the 8th, because, the first week was actually New Year's Day. So we didn't have one that day. But it's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And the 8th was Inner Glow. The 15th was Soul Glow. The 22nd will be Glory. Get it? Glory for glory, like gospel night. And then the 29th will be Glorilla. So it's just all songs that we're dancing to that have a meaning of empowerment, of strength, of positivity. I found that when you dance, you don't have to know how to dance. You just come in and do whatever you want to do, whatever your body tells you to do. You cannot think about your problems while you're dancing. It is a scientific fact that you cannot listen to music, dance, and think about your problem. So you're literally taking 30 minutes out of your day to stop your brain and stop focusing on your problem. I also found out that Monday, not surprisingly, is the most hated day in America, right? Like the world, pretty much. Nobody likes Mondays. The second most hated day is Tuesday. So it's really like by a long shot, because the biggest day is Monday, and then the very distant second is Tuesday. But what that means is that we've created 2 days of stress. And so by the time you get to Wednesday, you're weighted down. It's a slump week. You got 2 more days left of work. You're just, And so what I did was I created these freestyle movement dance classes so that you could come, release some stress, and get rid of that. So that's one of my classes that I have in I Lose Again. The second is that you come in and you hire me as your fitness accountability coach. So again, you tell me your fitness schedule and I will hold you accountable to that. I have monthly raffles. I have resources available to you. There's a Q&A. There's so many things in there that I have that I'm going to work with you and help you go forward. And it's not even that expensive. It's only $34.99 a month. And right now, at the time of this recording, it's 7 days free. So every month or so, I'm going to have a new promo. So just come in there and see what the promo is for that day. But if you watch this video and you come back and refer this video, I will still honor the 7 days free. I'm going to do that for your people, Miss Daley. Yes.
Yes. And y'all, I just want to say that her classes are so fun. And I just want to reiterate that they are very manageable. You come in, you dance, it's freeing. I literally do not think about anything that I have going on. Some days I'll be so stressed and I'll come in and the vibe is so good. The playlist is really good that you just really forget about things and you're just having fun. And I also get to bring my daughter in. And so that's just a moment for us to bond as well. It's a really good time. But besides being a fitness coach, you are also a mom and a wife. And so I would love to transition into more of your personal life, and let's get into some juicy things about marriage, because as a young person who is married, I just want to, get advice and, for other people as well to hear advice from people who have been married for a long time.
I know, friend, it's 20 years. I just celebrated 20 years in August last year.
Yeah, so I would love for you to talk about how marriage has been for you, and how have you been able to sustain a 20-year marriage?
Marriage is great, and marriage has its ups and downs, right? So any relationship that you have to learn. The biggest thing is, they say, communication. And I always agree. It is communication. But what I think is more is not just effective communication either. Because a lot of people always say, well, it's a communication. Well, there's an effective communication. There's another level of communication. And that is speaking to your person in their love language. So if you spoke Portuguese and I spoke even Spanish, right? They're so closely related that people are like, if you can learn one, you can learn the other one easily. Well, that's not always the case. I'm trying to learn Spanish, and the Portuguese is a totally different language. So if you're trying to speak to a person in Portuguese, they may a person that's Spanish may understand or vice versa, but they're still going to have that break in communication. And that's what it's like with couples, right? Doesn't matter the gender, doesn't matter the sexual orientation, it's people. And if you bring two people together, there's bound to be some sort of breakdown in that communication. So what we had to learn was effective communication through our love languages. So my love language is words of affirmations. But then even that, we can go a step further, Fran, into how do you want to hear those words? You see, because like for me, I'm on more of the intimate side. We're going to keep it there. So I want to be spoken to in a way that makes me feel desired, in a way that makes me feel like you desire me, physically, you desire me mentally, you want me here in your life and present. There's some people that like want their words of affirmations in a different way. That's specifically how I want my words. My husband's love language is acts of service. The problem with this is that my love language, if there's 5 love languages, my love language is his 5th, very bottom. My top is his bottom. And his love language, acts of service, is like 4th for me. So both of our top love languages are each other's bottoms, and we don't think about each other's love language on an everyday. So we had to teach ourselves that. Like I have acts of service. I'll leave the dishes in the sink overnight for 3 days. That to him equates, you don't love me because you didn't wash the dishes in the sink, or I asked you to bring me some water and you didn't. And you know, it's only because I have ADHD and I went to the kitchen and forgot what I was in there for. But that equates to him that you don't love me. And we had to learn how to come together and make each other's love languages a priority, whether or not I need it. This is not about my needs, it's about my husband's needs. It's not about his needs, it's about my needs. So we had to work on that communication. And I think that if people went into it with that, especially while you're dating, before you get married, because how they are when you're dating is how they will be, or worse, when you get married, is my opinion. But if you've gotten married and both of you want to work on it together, then I think that's the biggest thing with communication, is communicating effective in their love language.
Side question. Do you think people, because this is like a question that I've been seeing, do you think people should move in together before they get married, or do you think people should live separately until they get married?
What's your thought? Question, friend. This is a tricky question. Because we technically did not live together before we got married. We each had our own separate places, just that somebody was at each other's house all the time. So I feel like that is your personal journey, whether or not you want to do that or not. I do feel like it has to be the couple's decision. And if the couple together agrees, then the couple together needs to make sure no one should feel pressured into moving in if they don't want to, if they don't feel like it's the best thing for them to do. But I do think that's an individualized couple decision. And as long as your boundaries are respected while you're talking effectively in their love language about that issue, then make that decision according to what you think is right for you.
Okay, so let's get back into how did you and your husband meet? What is you all's backstory?
Oh, girl. Okay, so we met at Michigan State, and we were both, I was in school. I can't remember if he was still in school there, but he was working at a job that I was also working at, and I actually kept taking sabbaticals from this job. So it was my first day back from a sabbatical, and it was his first day at the job. I had that job at the time since I was 16. And I kept like coming to the job and leaving and coming and leaving. And now I'm about 20. Yeah, I'm 20 at this point. And he was working. I started working, came back to working. And he was sitting there. So we had these cubicles, and it was like 2 this way and then 2 behind. And he was facing the cubicle that was behind me on this side. And the job is boring. The job, all you did was a random digit dialing, and all you did was sit on the phone. And if somebody answered the phone, you asked them to do a survey. And so it was very boring, your brain cells felt like they were dying. They didn't allow you to do anything else at the job. You couldn't read a book. You couldn't have any notepad or paper out. You just had to sit there. And so my friend was sitting there, and I was like, hey, I'm going to be talking to you. Everybody always talked while you were sitting at the joke on the job, but I looked back at him and I was like, excuse me, what's your name? And he was like, told me his name. And then I was like, well, I'm going to be talking to you when my friend leaves. Not that we can't talk now, but I will officially be talking to you when she leaves because this job is boring. And he was like, okay, you're weird. Well, anyway, we sat there all night and talked. It ended up 2 other people came, and the 4 of us all sat there and talked all night. And the rest was history. We've been talking nonstop all the time, every day for the last 22 years.
That's so cute, right? Because me and my husband, we met at our jobs as well. And it just seems like usually when I hear people talk, I'm not always, but people, usually they meet at a job of some sort. It's so funny.
Yes. And it was a college job. So it was one of those, we're only making like $7 an hour to assistant. But yeah, we actually ended up we got in trouble by the managers. We were no longer allowed to sit next to each other anymore because we were talking so much.
That is hilarious.
Listen, I'm always and forever gonna get talks too much on report card. Always.
Right. That is so funny. And so now you all have been married for 22 years, which is a really long time.
So we dated for 2 years and then we got married. And so we've been married for 20, together for 22.
Oh, okay. So at 22, you all got married when you were 22.
Yeah. So it's been 22 years officially that we are together. So yeah, I got married at 22 because I'm 43 now. Yep. So I got married at 22, about to be 23, and he got married at 23, about to be 24. So.
Okay. Yes.
We got married a month later is his birthday, and then 2 months later is my birthday. So yeah, we met in 2002, got married in 2004, and so 2025, here we are, still together. So yeah, I think that is the biggest thing. The second biggest thing, though, besides communication, I think that is really helpful in a marriage is gratitude. We started reading this book called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. It's a 28-day devotion, and you can use it for whatever you want. Go through it's 28 days of different things. It talks about money, relationships, health, all the things. And we realized that we were talking and thinking about each other more negatively than we were positively. So that book, Think and Grow Rich?
Mm-hmm.
So basically they say, as a man thinketh, so is he, right? Mm-hmm. That's in the Bible. That's the same thing with basically the law of attraction says, as a man thinks, so is he. So if you think that this guy is a jerk and he gets on your nerves and I can't stand him and blah, 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 all these negative emotions. He never take the trash out. When he do take the trash out, he don't put the trash bag back in. That's a big thing, right? Then, he get on my nerve. He don't never help me with the kids. He don't never do this. He don't never do that. Blah, 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 right? We have all these negative things that we say about each other. She's this, she's that. She acts like a brat. She's spoiled. She don't help with nothing. She whatever. We have all these negative things that we can say. And I'm not saying that they're not right. I'm not saying that they aren't doing those things. But what are they doing right? What is going well? So if you focus and think about those things more than you focus and think about the things that are not going well, you can change the trajectory of your marriage. And my husband and I definitely saw that. There was a breakdown in our marriage in year 11 where we were like, listen, we didn't have no kids at that point, and we can be like deuces. It'll be like, you go your way, I go my way, and ain't gonna be no ties. But once we did that magic together, and we're actually doing it right now for 2025, we came into it saying, hey, we need to revamp some things, and not just our marriage, but our life. Once we start giving gratitude for the things that are going well, that we do appreciate, that we do love, girl, that thing changed around so quick.
That is so.
Yes, I do recommend that people get that book and read that. And her other 2 books are amazing as well. The Secret, I think, is still on Netflix if you want to watch the movie.
So besides reading the book, is there anything else that helped you all get through, those hard times, your obstacles? Like you said, year 11 was really tough. And sometimes people don't even make it, that long. And so, how are you still continuing to get over, the obstacles that you face in marriage?
I think that another thing, if I had a third thing, beyond effective communication in their love language and giving gratitude, the third thing I would say is, do you like the person? Like, not love, like, because my husband is my best friend, right? So I'm coming to him with a problem. He can't wait to tell me great things. I don't like traveling with nobody but him because he gets me in my clocks. I have a way that I like to travel and he understands that. Like, we are best friends. And I think that getting with your best friend and a person that you can like and have the same mutual things as you, your yin to the yang type thing, if you will, you can make that work and you can balance it. Like, I'm more of an introvert. I don't like leaving the house. He's an extrovert. He has no problem leaving the house. So we make those type of things work. And I think that if you had a friend that was an introvert, how would you talk to them? Would you be like, oh my God, you get on my effing nerves? Would you talk to your friend like that? Probably. I mean, unless y'all have a friendship like that, I don't know, but I wouldn't. So that's how I treat my relationship.
Wow, that's actually really good advice, okay? Because sometimes you do question like, dang, do I like my partner? Like, this person really getting on my nerves. But no, deep down it's just like, yeah, this person is my friend. You build a friendship first and then those things you can kind of like you said, you can work through those things because you can communicate. Like when you actually like your partner, you can communicate and you can, work on those things. But it is important to know, like, do you actually truly like your partner? So that's really good.
I would probably say this. A fourth thing that I will also say too is don't gaslight yourself. Okay, don't try to convince yourself to like somebody that you don't like. Don't be like, oh, I don't have a really good reason for leaving this person. I just don't feel like this is my person. Then leave. Listen to yourself. I'm not telling you to leave or not. Let me not say that. But I'm telling you to listen to yourself. Again, that's what I do with I Lose Again. In my business, I do that in my marriage. I do that with everything in my life. What is my intuition saying? I feel like your intuition is God's way of speaking to you. That pin in your stomach, something that's just not right. You can't really put your finger on it. Obviously, if there's any type of, situations where you're not physically safe, emotionally safe, mentally safe. I don't want to say the word for, but if you have those type of situations, sometimes there isn't any amount of gratitude or any amount of best friend. Sometimes you just need to go to keep yourself safe. But if we're talking about just generalized relationships where it's just a breakdown of communication, it's a breakdown of something that can be solved and saved, then use those tips and tricks to navigate that. And then also go to therapy, individual and couples therapy. And I mean a licensed clinical professional.
Thank you for that. That's such a great advice. I know it's hard though, especially for Black people. Just gonna throw this out there to get therapy, and this is why I would love, to talk to someone about, the access of therapy and how can we access therapy, right? Like, what was your, how did you access therapy? Did you just go and look it up? Would somebody refer a therapist to you? Like, have you been in therapy?
Oh yeah, multiple times. So I've had different avenues. First, I looked at people that when you're with a therapist, you have to work with a therapist that's licensed in your state. So a lot of times that's why with your health insurance, they'll tell you like, okay, you can only go to these people. So look at your health insurance if you have that and see. If you don't have health insurance, another thing that I did was sought self-care, self-help through the internet, through YouTube videos. And I found a person that did EFT tapping. If you don't know what that is, it's emotional freedom tapping, where you tap on the pressure points of your body. And she actually is a licensed therapist that incorporates EFT tapping in her therapy sessions. And she had free EFT tapping sessions. I went to her free classes a few times, ended up hiring her as my therapist. Her prices changed during COVID. So then I had to find something that was more economical for me. And then I went to BetterHelp. And I also went to Cerebral, because Cerebral actually gives, once I was diagnosed with ADHD, they were able to give medication that could help with ADHD. And I know people, especially people of color, have a problem with medication. And I equate it to, first of all, I'm in my, at the time, late 30s. I am struggling, okay? And I don't know why. I don't know what's going on mentally with me. If I had a headache, I would take a Tylenol. If I had, whatever, I would take it. So if I'm having a mental breakdown and I'm not able to help myself mentally, and a doctor says, hey, try this, I wanted to try it and see if it helped me. And it actually really helped me. So that is how I went through finding my therapist. But I also want to say that when you do find a therapist, if you find one that you don't feel like is for you, change them. This is how I looked at it. I'm hiring you. I don't care if I'm paying you with my money or the health insurance is paying. I'm hiring you. If I don't feel like I'm getting what I need from you, I'm not going to stop and be like, oh, therapy doesn't work. That's one person. Keep going. Find another person. Or maybe that person can help you through this issue, but they can't help you to the next progress. Then move on and find somebody else. I had a therapist that was like that. She helped me through a time, and then I felt like I was stalling. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to move on and find someone else that can help me go to the next level. And that's okay. I used to have an issue with therapy because I was like, well, I'm having to pay somebody to be my friend. But your friends are not your therapist, and your friends are not designed to be your therapist. Your friends are there for experiences. Therapists are there, licensed, trained, to help you through your mental health issues, not your friends. And once I realized that changed my whole idea of therapy, because my friends were not who I'm supposed to be talking to. They can't help me. They barely help themselves. I needed someone that can help me, that is trained, that can help me. Now, sometimes they always say, like, well, psychologists have their worst personal life experiences, and that's on their personal life experiences. It's so much easier to help somebody else than it is to help yourself. So just remember that too. If you ever go to therapy, like, well, they can't help. It's so much easier to help somebody else than it might be to help yourself. Also, they're dealing with everybody else's emotions every day, all the time. And they might be absorbing that energy. So their personal life could be suffering for whatever reason. But your job is to find someone that's going to help you. And if this person can help you, let them help you.
That was great advice. Thank you. I know that advice will definitely help someone out there when they watch this podcast, you all. Because if you do feel like you need therapy to regulate your mental health, like she said, and I'm going to reiterate it, your friends are not your therapists. Your friends are not there to take on your trauma, to take on all of the things, talk that out with a therapist. And if you cannot afford a therapist, journaling, you all. I journal. Journaling is a great way to kind of get things out and express things as well. But
I know that BetterHelp specifically, I don't know about all the other ones, but keep searching. There sometimes are free therapy out there. And then I know that BetterHelp, especially during COVID, they had a tiered system or scaling system. So you put in your income and they would base the price based upon your income and not a regular. But that is in the lower bottom in the corner in small print that you have to seek. They're not going to just, say it out loud, but find it. It should be there.
So you mentioned that year 11 was really hard for you all, and that by that time you all did not have any kids. Can you talk about your journey into motherhood?
Oh my gosh, girl. It was so crazy because we met with a friend who had a friend. So it was a friend of a friend. It was actually her neighbor, her previous neighbor, who was getting ready to be incarcerated for a long time. And she had 3 other kids. And the family members have those children, but that no one was ready to take on a newborn. And Nobody in her family was friends. It's hard. And I didn't realize how hard having a newborn was either until she came home. So she gave birth. She was able to have a wonderful time with her baby. And then my husband and I went to go take her home on the fourth day of her birth. And that was my journey to motherhood. It was so random that it was our 19th year of marriage. So it was last year. And someone was like, hey, can you help? And we were like, sure. So we had like 2.5 weeks to prepare. And we were like, okay, now we went from a childless couple of 19 years to having a baby in our home full time. And it was wild. Like for the first 3 weeks, I forgot. I would like go to sleep and then she'll wake up, because every 2 to 3 hours I got to eat. And she'll wake up and I'm like, what is that noise? And I'm like, oh, I forgot baby. I didn't go through, and I think that I've heard that women that even carry their kids have this same thought too. But I didn't carry a child, so I didn't have the 9 months of that. I literally was like planning a trip to Cabo for our 20th anniversary, and then I canceled that and brought home a baby. So like I was like wild, and it has been so amazing to have her with us, but also for my husband and I, because having a baby while you're married can make or break. You can find if there was a crack in your marriage, you're going to find it bringing home a newborn. You're sleep deprived. This baby needs all of your attention. And then they start, as soon as you think that you got some things settled, they have another milestone that they hit. And now they're doing something different. Or now they're sleep. Oh, she was sleeping at 8 hours one time. And then now it's like she's starting to move around and stand up and crawl and all those things. With that comes sleep regression. So now we're back up, twice a night. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to test a relationship, have a baby. Yeah. And so I feel like we've been doing good. Our relationship has gotten stronger through that. Seeing him as a father makes me, we're caregivers to this baby. Seeing him like that with her, like makes me fall in love with him all over again, because I don't have to ask him to help me. It is just, hey, you need help? Hey, how can I help? Now there, obviously there's certain things that I would want to do. I would do differently. You know what I mean? Like, why you change the baby diaper like that? But then you gotta give gratitude for, hey, you didn't have to change the baby diaper. So it's just, I think it's just an amazing. My journey to motherhood was very, very different than others, and I think that's just our story. Like nobody's gonna have that crazy story like how we have. These crazy stuff happens to us all the time, and that was our story, girl. And it's been a wild ride since.
Wow, that is so beautiful. Before we go, because unfortunately my computer is about to die, I would love for you to give advice to moms who are trying to be on a fitness journey. Because I know you're getting the experience, like we're both moms, you're getting the experience of the newborn like portion. And when my daughter was a newborn, I was teaching a lot and doing like career stuff. So I would try to get my fitness in, like, a little bit here and there. But now that she's older, I feel like, it's getting better, and, it's all a journey. Like it's going to be ups and downs and ebbs and flows. But what would be your advice to moms who are trying to start a fitness journey?
Yes. So my advice would be to, again, my whole goal is to find a way that works for you. What works for me is not going to work for you, or not going to work for the other person. Find a way that works for you. What I like to do is combine stuff together. So you've seen me on our dance parties. Aliyah, you've seen me fold clothes while we're dancing. If you are a person that rocks your baby to sleep, rock your baby to sleep on, like right now I'm on my stability medicine ball, right? So if I were to rock my baby to sleep like this, that is a huge core workout, and my baby loves it. And she's like 20 pounds. So now I am having a 20-pound weight while I'm rocking my baby to sleep. If you're a person that walks your baby to sleep at night, walking your baby to sleep, count those steps, turn that fitness tracker on. That's a workout. There was a study that was done where these housekeepers were asked the questions, a Harvard study. They were like, do you work out? And everybody said no. But all the housekeepers burned twice as much calories as a person that worked an office job per day. But they didn't consider it working out because they weren't actually physically working out. And my goal with I Lose to Gain is to get a person, moms in particular, a different way of working out. Work out while you're cleaning your house. Work out while running errands. Park further away and get some steps while you're walking up to the grocery store. Carry your groceries back to your car instead of putting them in the cart, depending on how many groceries you have. So that way you have weights and now you're carrying those to the car. There are so many different ways that you can work out. And that's what I teach in I Lose to Gain is find a way that works out for you. Another thing I told you that I tell people to tell me their fitness schedule. So like I want to work out Monday to Friday at 8 a.m. Okay, well, what happens if you can't work out at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday? What happens if you just say, hey, I need to work out for 30 minutes a day on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you just get it in wherever you can? I'm going to help make sure that you make that happen. So that is what my recommendation for moms that are getting into a fitness journey. First of all, want it. You got to want it. You don't do this because, I got to do this. I just want to do it. And then the second thing is find a way that you can fit fitness into your day that feels good to you. And if you need support and help in finding those ways, you can join me at I Lose to Gain, my Facebook group, I Lose to Gain, a fitness accountability group. And if you want to take it to the next level, you can hire me as your fitness accountability coach. And I will make sure that you are getting your fitness done on the days that you said that you're going to do them.
Yes, thank you all. This was a great conversation about health, marriage, fitness. And so I hope that you all took something from this. Do not forget to like and subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Peace.